Hello and welcome to the Shootout, the show that each week invites two purveyors of world football to chew the cud and spit the footballing fat directly at myself, Paul Sampson.
And me, Mark Dreyer, and the first two names on the team sheet are two very talented journalists. On my right, Tony Poulin, soccer writer for the New York Post, and across from me, Nish Dabral, the North American correspondent for the Independent newspaper in England. So welcome guys, thank you.
Welcome, thank you for your time.
Pleasure to be here.
So guys, topical show. Beckham just landed in the States. MLS saviour or egotist?
Probably neither.
Okay.
Savior for MLS, the league, possibly as a player, not likely.
Okay.
In my mind, Beckham coming as a player is not going to save the league individually, but he's going to elevate the next step of attention and mainstream focus onto the sport and hopefully become an ambassador for the sport, not really just the LA Galaxy.
Mm-hmm. What do you think, I mean, I've seen a lot of stuff. The worldwide media are kind of saying it's a bit of a laughing stock. He's going into semi-retirement. You know, it's a Mickey Mouse league, you know, in the States. Do you think that's the case?
Well, he's not playing at the highest level. There's no two ways about it. The MLS is an up-and-coming league. He's not competing with the best in Europe. I think if he is going to semi-retirement, then he's doing the right thing for his ego. That's why I asked the question, because he can come here and still be one of the best players and still be adored and adulated in exactly the same way that he was throughout his career.
But he's still playing for England, right? He's still the best right-sided midfielder in England.
Exactly.
Arguably.
He's leaving, you know, on a peak. Just won the title with Real Madrid. He's back to his very best.
Right.
I think most people would agree.
But let's be honest, Real Madrid didn't want him in January. They benched him. They stalled on his contract negotiations. I think Newcastle maybe put in an offer. But other than that, Beckham's career was on the downturn. England had dropped him. McLaren had no intention of bringing him back to the squad.
But 6 months on, they very much did want him, didn't they? They were saying, you know, oh, there's a clause in a contract, something about, oh, we'll find a way to bring him back. You know, I don't think...
I mean, they say that's why Capello got fired, is because of the way he treated Beckham.
Yeah,
I don't think that's true. I don't think that's true at all. Look, one thing is for sure: Beckham, the guy's got more drive than Paris Hilton after a bottle of wine, right? He was always going to come back for this. He was always going to prove people wrong. That's what he does. But can he sustain it? You know, I don't think it's possible for him to sustain it. And I think personally, he's made the right move coming here to play for England as well. And, you know, travel transatlantically. Can this guy perform at the top level on both stages?
Well,
Personally, I don't think he can.
Nish, you're rolling your eyes. I think it is an awful lot of travel. So let's broaden it out a bit.
Okay.
Non-soccer fans, are they going to care? I mean, there'll be a massive circus. You know, there has been a massive circus already. The build-up, the arrival. How long is that going to last?
I'll tell you what will happen. Where I think Beckham's major influence comes is from the 80% of the United States, which is indifferent to the sport, to the game. They watch the World Cup, they get interested, it's a big event. They don't have any ill feelings toward the sport, but they just suffer from a lack of knowledge of the game because it's never been brought to them. And for what Beckham is going to be able to do, and this is where I think he's his most valuable in MLS, beyond just being a player on the field, is his ability to attract people to the game. Whether or not it's just to see the show or see the spectacle or not, it brings them a focus and attention to the game.
What's going to make a difference whether they stay going to the games or they turn up once? Oh, okay, we saw him. You know, back to baseball, back to whatever. You know,
Can they offer a better product than the Premiership or La Liga?
Well, is that the product they're
It's
trying to
the
offer?
leagues that don't offer the best product of Premiership, La Liga, Italia, Serie A, but their leagues are wildly supported. You know, the Campeonato in Brazil is massive. It's
Right.
poor, except for the scoundrels that run the club and suck all the money. But people follow that religiously. Same thing in Argentina, Peru, Belgium, or Holland. They don't have the best leagues, but they have great support and they have respectable leagues. It's not a matter of being the best league in the world. It's a matter of just being a good league in the world. And to do that, you need the people to follow. And how are you going to get the people to follow? The MLS is banking on Beckham.
But that's the other question: is this just another peak to be sharply followed by a trough?
I mean,
who is there going to be when Beckham retires in 4 years to pick up the slack?
I mean,
Who's going to come here next?
So do you think it's already a lost cause? I mean, we've kind of seen with Pelé a massive peak and then nothing. We saw with the Women's World Cup in '99 the 80% you were talking about, they all tuned in, and then the women these days get a few thousand to their games. I mean, that's disappeared, certainly for the moment. Do you think it's a lost cause already?
I think so. I think Beckham's taking it for what he can, and you can't blame him for doing that. I think football will never be loved in this country the way it is around the world. And I don't think it will change that much over here.
Why did the women's fail?
Because the golden generation all retired. You ask kids today, you ask soccer-loving teenage girls or younger than that, who all they do is play soccer, who their favourite player is, they still say Mia Hamm. She's been gone for 2-3 years, and they couldn't name you a single player on the current team who are on a nearly a 45-game unbeaten streak.
So maybe they should give Mia Hamm a $250 million.
It's a big. if you're talking.
So moving on from there, it's been a bit of a drought football-wise as far as the EPL is concerned, but we are buoyed by the transfer rumours, and there's nothing better over the summer than a few rumours. Ronaldo to West Ham, things like that. Ones that have gone ahead and may have shocked a few people. Let's start with Thierry Henry. Gone to Barcelona, 29 years of age for £16 million. At the same time, we've seen Darren Bent go from Charlton to Tottenham for 16.5 million. Admittedly, he's younger. What are your thoughts on those two transfers?
In terms of the price, I think...
In terms of everything that's involved,
I think it's
really
easy to sort of compare the two and say, well, Henry's better. But 29 versus 23, is it?
Mm-hmm.
It's, the 6 years. Henry's already showing... If I was a Barcelona fan, I'd be worried. He didn't have a great season, mostly because he wasn't playing, because he was injured. Right. Who's to say he's going to come back and be...
Hold on a minute. You just had a go at me for saying Beckham was not a good player, and you're going to tell me that Henry is past his best at 29 at his peak because he had a season out with injury.
I'm just saying Bent has got 6 years to get to the point where Henry is.
Bent is never getting
in terms of production and value for money, resale money, it's easy to justify the fact that he's gone for the same price.
No, I understand.
That's what I'm saying.
Let's be honest though, guys. It's a steal. Henry at 16 million at 39 is a steal. I mean, he is arguably the best striker in Europe. Yeah. He scores goals of his own making. I mean, the guy is absolutely world class, and he is at his peak. He's still got another 3 or 4 seasons playing at the top end of the game. I mean, I would kill for
Especially you see a guy like Torres going for 24, 26 million pounds, and Shevchenko last year for almost the same amount. And Shevchenko's not that much younger than Henry. He's older than Henry.
Right. Yeah, I think part of that was the Chelsea effect. Oh, yeah. Which was in full flow back then.
And the other thing to consider is that Bent went from an English club to an English club, and that is always an inflated price. But I mean, Henry for £16 million. When you think, Liverpool paid 14 million for Djibril Cissé. Right. Alan Shearer went for 15 million. What 15 years ago? Mm-hmm. Prices have gone up tenfold since then, and we're still talking about Henry for 16 million.
And then you have United paying similar prices for guys like Owen Hargreaves and Carrick.
Precisely. Precisely.
And none of those can touch the class of Henry or the game-changing ability of a guy like Henry.
It's a steal, and
it's an absolute bargain.
We've got to keep our eyes on Barcelona this season because, like that
Can
lineup,
they play with 4? Can they play with those 4? Ronaldinho, Messi, Eto'o, and Henry?
Whether they can or not, you can be damn sure they're going to try.